Welcome to this month's Medical Monday. I can't believe it's already the third month of the year. And we have a special Medical Monday for you. It's all about the Eclipse. So we have a lot of people involved in the Eclipse locally who will be speaking today. But first, a quick moment. We got the sun! And the moon.
The eclipse will end sometime, and then I will shine again.
Don't shine again.
And our sun and the moon are work staff from our local Chamber of Commerce, Lynette Davis and Chantel Baker. And we want to thank them for coming. So they might be moving around behind you, and so don't get worried. And just keep But we want to thank them for coming, because they've been doing some things with the different Eclipse events. So we want to thank both Chantel and Lynette for coming and showing the sun and the moon and how it's going to cross over. So next we will have Jennifer Hendrickson from Reid Health and Ryan Williams. Ryan said he lives along for the ride, but Ryan is our Director of Emergency Services. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer.
Well, good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here to see you guys. I didn't realize it's quite this much of a party. I would have started coming sooner. Yeah.
That's how I trick people. I say, I'm throwing a party.
Throwing a party.
Once a month.
So just by show of hands, who knew about the eclipse before today? Rock on. You guys are, I can go sit down. You guys are ready, right? They're ready. All right, so just a few basics. If you guys are already aware, we're going to scream through these first few slides. All right, so our brilliant sun and moon already showed us what the eclipse was, right? So this will be a total eclipse where the moon completely blocks the sun. Ooh. So this is, if you guys can see this is all the paths of the eclipse that are coming. So why is this one a big deal? Because we don't have another one coming until 25, sorry. And not close to Indiana until 2099. So it's kind of a big deal, right? Yeah. Here's the path it's going to take across North America. So right across Indiana. A little bit more closer just to Indiana so you can see where it's going to be. And for anybody who has friends in Ohio, we include Ohio too, so you can see where it's going through Ohio. So what's it going to look like? It'll look like twilight, and it'll eventually, when the moon is really right in front of the sun, it'll be dark. It'll look like it's nighttime outside. So I know this is kind of hard for you guys to see, but it is just a time frame of when that eclipse is going across North America. So it's going to start in Dallas, Texas. The time up there is 12:23, and exit Maine at 4:40. So it's not going to be a very long time, really. It's going to move that fast across North America. And then these are just times throughout Indiana. And you can maybe see, or maybe you already heard, it's going to hit Richmond at 3:07. And 59 seconds. I'm not sure how they have it down to that exact time frame, but that's what it's going to happen. So what's the big deal? Other than the time frame for the next one, what's the big deal? So people who are way smarter than me have done have an estimator to figure out how many people are going to be here to watch in Indiana to watch this eclipse. If you guys can see that, the low estimate of eclipse visitors to Indiana is 145,000. That's a lot. High estimate is 581,000. And if you look at people who live in that in Indiana, in that path, it's almost 4 million. So we're going to increase our population for that weekend, right? Concerns might be traffic issues. That's probably our biggest concern. What's going to happen with traffic that day, that weekend? I think Jim's going to talk about some of the events planned, but if you haven't already heard, there are events planned. Some have already started, but Thursday, definitely Friday, Saturday, Sunday, ending with the eclipse on Monday. So people will come in as they want to come in Friday for some of the events, maybe Saturday. They're going to take the whole weekend to show up. But what's our human nature? When the show's over, we all want to go home, right?
Right.
So think about everyone's taking 3 or 4 days to get here, but we're all going to leave at the same time. What's going to happen then? Everybody leave 4th of July fireworks all at the same time? So just magnify that, right? That's what we're going to have. There is a possibility that people who are driving in may not make it to where they want to view, so they'll just stop along the road, park there, and watch from the side of the road. Now, if Ryan got up here and said anything, that's where he cringes, right? He's nodding his head. We want to make sure our emergency vehicles can still get through, whether it's our ambulances, our police, fire trucks. So that's our biggest concern. Is how we still make that happen and still get people the help they need when they need it. And then that bottom line is, so what if it's overcast and cloudy that morning? What's everybody going to do? They're going to leave and go someplace else, right? So they can watch it someplace, or vice versa. If wherever they are is cloudy, they're going to end up coming here. So good possibility of people moving that morning as well. So we have been in touch with people who went through the 2017 eclipse and learned lessons from them. And that was one of their biggest things, was extreme traffic congestion. So we are concerned about people getting in and out. A lot of demand for hotels, campsites. Most of the campsites are already booked for that day. Funny story, I was talking to someone at the hospital and they said, one of their employees went to the 2017 eclipse. They came back from that weekend and put in vacation request for April 8th of 2024, 7 years ago. So they knew they wanted to go. So people are that invested and interested in seeing this. But it is an educational opportunity, right? How many times are you going to see an eclipse? This is a really cool thing for us to watch. Again, some lessons learned. For people or places who have large events planned, this is the mom and me worried about kids getting separated from either parents or grandparents or guardians. That's the mom and me worrying about stuff like that. Road rage incidents will be on the rise. Yikes, right? A lot of the communities in Wayne County have planned, a lot of communities have planned events. And there is concern about them being able to host the events that they planned. I don't know if you're going to share a list of what those events are. Then I'll leave that for Jim to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, what happens in April in the Midwest? You name it, right? It could be beautiful and sunny. It could be overcast and cloudy. It could be snowing, right? It's Indiana, you never know. So again, that's some of our concerns. Like I mentioned earlier, people who come here, now all of a sudden it's cloudy and they want to go someplace where they can watch it. Some of our primary concerns, kind of mentioned the traffic already. Cell phone disruption is a really big concern. If anybody goes to a large event and you try to use your cell phone to make a phone call and you can't get through, that's what it's going to be like. With all those extra people here using their cell phone towers, we're going to have issues. We're worried about emergency services communication with 911. The 911 center here has started some planning. They've got plans in place, so If you have to call 911 that day, they should be able to take care of you. They got plans in place. And then that last one up there, the eye safety, onset of eye damage is 12 to 24 hours later when they're driving home, right? That's when they're gonna start having eye damage. So thankfully you should all have your Eclipse glasses, right? You're prepared, you'll be ready for this. So just a little bit about eye safety during the eclipse. So like our sun and moon demonstrated, it's going to be a partial eclipse first. We're going to have about an hour and a half-ish before, hour-ish before, when that moon is moving across. That's when you need your eclipse glasses on. When the moon is fully in front of the sun, you can look at it straight on. And then when the moon starts moving again, put your glasses back on. But in between then, you can look at that and watch the moon in all its glory that day. So I did add this one in, effects on animals. How many of you have animals at home, pets at home? So there's a potential concern about this effect on your animals because to them it's nighttime all of a sudden in the middle of the day, right? It's not right. So there have been studies again from 2017 that did in zoos, but did see some unnatural reactions from the animals that were in the zoo. So if you have pets, whatever they do at nighttime, they might want to go to bed, take a nap, I don't know, just be prepared for that.
True.
So what I want to talk about is what you can do to be prepared. I've run a lot of things past you, but realize there will likely be an influx of people into Indiana and into Wayne County. So if you're going to view the eclipse, if you can watch it at your house, you've got a good view, perfect. If you're going somewhere, make sure you know maybe different routes to get there and to get back home. Again, we mentioned earlier, it's April in the Midwest, be prepared. You might have your parka and your flip-flops out, I don't know. You might need both. Make sure you have your Eclipse glasses certified. There's a certification on those to make sure you have there are knockoffs out there, people trying to make a buck, right? And then what we are really teaching or telling our staff is prepare like this is a winter storm. So if you're going to be home, make sure you have food, make sure you have a full tank of gas, make sure your cell phone's charged up, all those things. So just think about it as a winter storm event, but hopefully without snow. Now I did mention again earlier about 911. If you can't use your cell phone because the cell towers are overloaded and you have an emergency, how are you going to go hold 911? If you have a landline, you're golden for this.
Still got mine.
But if you only have a cell phone, are you all aware that you can text 911? So on your cell phones where it says to, just put 911 and then in the body of the text, send them whatever your message is and they will respond to you. So know that if you can't make that phone call, text messages use lower signal, I guess, not all the technology I know about cell phones, but you can text 911. So make sure you just keep that in the back of your mind so you know you can have that. You have that option, okay? Again, I won't steal thunder, but realize that tourism boards are heavily advertising this through that whole path. And these are just a couple I found local or in Indiana, one's in Ohio, but it is a big deal, right? Here's a bunch of resources, websites, but no, you can go online and Google 2024 eclipse and find all kinds of things. One of them has that NASA website will actually show you the path and what it looks like. It's going to go faster the farther it goes. It's going to get narrower the farther it goes. There's some really cool information out there if you want to spend the time to look at it. I think that's all I have for you guys. Do you have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
What about internet phones that use the internet?
So if you're on, those I've been told, don't hold me to this, should still be fine. Like we talk about the hospital, things that use our internal network should be fine because that's still a hard line connection. Anything that's using cell signal will be the concern.
If the hotels are filled up, how much are the average rooms going for? I got 4.
That's one I don't know, but you might know. I don't know that one. But I know, only because I heard from the tourism board, all the Airbnbs in Wayne County, which I don't know how many that is, those are all booked. Most of the hotel rooms are booked. Last I knew, there were a few left. Campsites are booked, but he can talk about that. He knows more about that than I do.
Channel 6 said that people had yards were selling space for $500 a car.
Okay, so also my funny story.
That's a new one.
There's all kinds of funny stories about this. And I don't know where this is exactly. I know it's in Wayne County, but there is an Amish family who is renting spaces for personal vehicles for, I want to say it's $30 a spot, but also charging you $50 to pull you out if you get stuck. So
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
quite entrepreneurs, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. Right, but there is that concern you're going to get someplace and then get stuck. So, any other questions for me? If not, I will turn this over.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do they know if the glasses are like the real deal?
Oh yeah. Okay. So if
Tricky, right? They're sneaky.
it can, yeah. Like I said, there are knockoffs. So what you're gonna look for, and I'm assuming these are on the ones that we handed out.
NASA.
It should say ISO certified. It's ISO 12312-2. I know that number off the top of my head. 12312-2. ISO certified. They're on the inside.
Right.
So if you pop into like your local gas station or Meijer or someplace and they're selling them, just make sure it has that number on it. ISO 12312-2. Yes, ma'am.
If there's an emergency and traffic makes it impossible to get to the hospital or urgent care or something, what should we do? Go to a fire station?
Everybody doesn't know Ryan. This is Ryan Williams. He's the director of EMS and trauma at Reid Health. Don't go far because I have the pack with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's a good question. I don't anticipate that. I think that we have a good enough plan that will get us around. We encounter traffic on a normal day, right? So we encounter various, not necessarily traffic jams, what you saw in the picture there. But if we're loud enough and keep edging forward, people will eventually move, right? There is a plan right now with Richmond Police Department. I think they're planning to have folks at Chester Boulevard and Reed Parkway to kind of help keep that flow of traffic around the hospital kind of going. We're still working through our plan at the hospital as far as like entrances and things like that. But I don't anticipate that there'll be any issues to where we would truly get stuck. If that means we have to hop on the other side of the road to get where we're going, that's what we'll do. That's why we have lights and sirens. So I don't think that that'll be a huge issue. I think where we would probably run into more of that would be maybe out on the interstate where it's not as easy to get across the other lanes of traffic and kind of have to go into the median. But
Don't be fooled. They like doing stuff like that.
I mean, it's true.
They do. Yes, sir.
Are you planning for people who want to watch the eclipse from Reed's parking lot?
Did you see how fast that turned around on me? We are, if you guys don't already know, we're planning on closing all of our physician practices that day. Some will be open till 11 or noon, but most of them will be closed. And we'll have those properties actually roped off. Not because we don't trust you guys, we just don't want people out of towners coming and leaving messes for us to clean up Tuesday morning. So those should be roped off unless they're being used. Like urgent care, totally open, the ER is open, obviously. So those are still available for your use. There's a good like Ryan mentioned, Richmond Police will be at the intersection at 27 and Reed Parkway. And then our own police department will be out around making sure that we keep the parking lots cleared, but available for those who need to come in. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have a family member in the hospital and you want to come visit that day, obviously we'll still let you in. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
As far as the highways and everything has the construction, people decided to just kind of not do construction or hold off for that day or?
Yeah. So I have been in meetings where the Indiana Department of Transportation has been, and they are not planning on doing construction that week, actually. Obviously, the bridge is already torn apart. It's torn apart, right? But they are not planning on doing construction that week. Last I heard, that could obviously change, right? But that's what I've been told. Yeah. Anything else? Awesome. All right. I'm turning them over to you.
Oh, to me.
To you.
To me. Thank you. Very good. Very nice. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jim Resh, and I'm with the Wayne County Convention and Tourism Bureau right here in Richmond. It's good to see familiar faces, and those that I don't know, hello. When we talked about the eclipse just starting, we have been working on this for a year. And it's way far away. That's what we're thinking. But now we're down to 28 days and I'm scared to death. I think that after we've talked so much about it and planned ahead, our purpose at the tourism is to welcome people in. We are promoting to get people to come to Richmond and Wayne County. So we want them all to see what we have to offer and to enjoy themselves while they're here. We want you all to enjoy the eclipse also. So I have with me today, and before you leave, I have a packet for everyone. And in the packet is, of course, a pair of glasses, of course, so you'll have a couple today, and an information packet that tells all about the eclipse locally. As we talked about the glasses, these are very important, of course, because you all want to see this happen. What's interesting, and many people will come in the Welcome Center and say, what's the big deal? Why are people coming here for just 4 minutes? And I said, well, you have to realize it's about 2 hours, because the moon begins, there she is, and she comes across the sun, and so it's about an hour before and an hour after. So be sure and have your glasses on before and after. And that's the main thing. A lot of photographers from out of the state and out of the country are coming. And they want to get a picture of the total eclipse, because that doesn't happen often. So we hope that everybody will enjoy it and get to see it. I will tell you, we have many things at the Welcome Center that we are selling and giving. As you can see, I wear my hat around town, and I see people every once in a while say, where did you get that? Let me tell you. And so we have mugs, we have hats, we have shirts. The t-shirts we also have in long sleeve. You don't know how it's going to be in April. And we also have sweatshirts. And we have them with Richmond printed, and we have them with Wayne County printed on it. So it's for the whole Wayne County, of course. And the most, I call it ground zero for the eclipse, is in Dalton Township, north of Hagerstown. This is where the line center will go exactly over that. There's a fellow that provides our gift shop at the Welcome Center. If you haven't been there, please stop out. 5700 National Road East. He provides us with maple syrup from his farm. And he lives in Dalton Township, right where the line will be over his house. And of course, he has some fields. And he told me yesterday he's not going to plant the field until after April the 8th. So people could park and so forth. But like she said, you may have to pay to get pulled out. We don't know if it's going to be raining or what. Back to the safety for the glasses. In your packet will be a little article card here that tells you how to put on your glasses, when to, and what the safety part of it is. I noticed that we had a countdown to the eclipse a week ago last Friday. And it was at the Tourism Bureau. We had over 300 people come. We have a new clock that counts down the time till the eclipse. And Primex Plastics here in town have made a solar viewer about this size that I never thought of this much before. But a lady came in and she said, I can't get these to go over my glasses. Normally they will fine. But she picked up one of the viewers, and a viewer is about this size, and you hold it up to your eyes and you can see very good. There's also a double viewer that you can have for 2 people. So if people don't want that, we have that available too, so you can come in and get a viewer. Many things. But eye safety is very important. You certainly don't want to scratch these or get a pinhole in the glasses, because that will certainly not be good for your eyes, and you may not know it for a week afterwards. So we're all being prepared. I also have a little brochure in everybody's packet that tells about the eclipse. I know you'll hear a lot about this, but it tells also the facts and where it will be and how long. Like she had showed on here, Jennifer, just very nice. And I had a lady come in. I hope people are interested in this. Some people are just going to stay home and not take part in anything, which is okay. You can still stand out your backyard and watch it. But the fun fact is that, a lady came in and she said, now when is this? And I said, well, it's April the 8th. And I said, it will not come back in Richmond for 1,000 years. She turned around. She came back. I said, yes. She said, I think I'll wait. All my talking did no good. I said, you can't wait. We also have some booklets out at the Welcome Center. It tells about more history of the eclipse. Very interesting if you're out that way. As Jennifer said, there's many things happening in Richmond and Wayne County. We expect people in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're encouraging people not to leave till Tuesday. Now, we're not saying that just to make money for the hotels. We are saying this because you have to plan ahead. And had a call from Grand Rapids, Michigan, just last week, and their television station wanted to come down for all 4 days. Can we get rooms? We want to stay. We want to record everybody's visit, what they think of it, and we want to take in the whole thing. That was just the first one. There's more coming from everywhere. We are trying to actually market the people from the South in the Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, all those items. We are the first state, if you come north, where the eclipse will come through. So people north of us and people south of us will come to this line. Several from Australia are coming, because I'm amazed how many people follow these things. There are eclipse people all over. It's just like the highest point in Indiana. You all know it's in where? Indiana, in Wayne County. Well, a lot of people follow that. Every 3 months, I receive a report from the highest point in Indiana, which is called Hoosier Hill, and it tells, you can sign in the booklet up there. If you haven't been there, there's a little mailbox with a booklet in it, and we ask for your name and address. or where you're from. And every 3 months I got a report from that. There are people from all over the country and foreigners who come there. Of course, they're tired from climbing. It isn't very high, but for 17, it's quite a neat thing. So it's kind of like they're called high pointers because they're visiting every high point in every state, which would really be a neat thing. So these people who follow the eclipse, they must be called solar eclipse climbers or visitors. So they stay in kind of a little club, I'm sure. Things that are happening in Wayne County, I have a complete list, I'm sure we have several here, of attractions and things that's going to happen. Hagerstown is pretty close to 4 minutes, and they're promoting, of course, Cambridge and Centerville and all of them. We're all in it. It's just how long we're in it. So they're all having lots of entertainment. The one thing that is neat, the 4-H Fairgrounds, which you probably all know where that is, and on the west side, they are a camping outfit. They have 350 camping spaces. I'm not promoting anybody in particular, I'm just telling what's happening. And they will have exciting entertainment for the whole weekend. Just to tell you a couple things, because I was surprised at how much they have gone into trying to entertain. They are going to have local bands and artists, 6 headline acts, Soul for Sunday, DJ Big Mills, Mad Dog TV shows, a helicopter drop with Easter eggs. Oh. So you want to get out there and see, this will just be a week after Easter. They'll also have the Wind Wolves Traveling Kite Show. You know, this is a kite show that's in the sky, of course, and they're different shapes, you know, that they do. So I think that's a neat thing. The zip lining will be fun. I know you all want to be on that. They're going to have movies, bounce houses, golf cart show, nighttime drone show. I've never seen one of those, of the drones, you know, they can make shapes. Very nice. They have food trucks, rally, artists and vendors, and a Midwest woolly dog show. So I don't know exactly what that is either. But the fairgrounds will be open the whole weekend. It's only $5 to get in. I think then there's extra costs for some of the other things. It's kind of a neat thing that they're having. Another thing that most people don't know about yet, Ralph Teeter was an inventor and businessman from Hagerstown. And he was a blind person who invented the car speedostat. It's speedostat, we call it. And he developed it for Perfect Circle. His nephew, Jack Teeter, has made a film about his life. And people might want to see this. It's going to be shown for the first time in Hagerstown on Friday night, and then it will be open to the public at Earlham College on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. So it might be interesting to see. It's called Blind Logic and tells about the life of Ralph Teeter. The cruise control he made and became so popular in every car. So that might be something. It's a free event, so you might want to take that in too. Other things are happening all over. We'll give you this sheet. I could go down through everything. That might take till 4 o'clock, so I'll wait. Are there any questions you might have? I was going to say I brought a visitor guide, of course. When you come in the Welcome Center, we have a guide that also You can see what's going on in Wayne County and also what's available. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Have I missed things that you might like to know?
Channel 11 had a real good interview about they're doing lots of things. Parking lots, they probably in somebody's bathroom because every time you see them, they're telling you something to do. Even parking lots, schoolyards, windows, everything.
That's great. I mean, so many things are happening. Channel 59 came over to the Welcome Center about a week or so ago. We didn't quite know they were coming that day, but they said about a half an hour ahead, said, we're coming to interview you and we want to know everything about it. So we put on our shirts and got all ready. And so it was interesting because that gets the word out for our county, you know. Now I know our theme is the best place to be in the dark. And other counties and other towns have other things. Now, Greenville, Ohio is in Dark County. So they have kind of latched onto that with dark. So, and I think over at Eaton, Ohio, they say, let us moon you. So they each have a different saying. This is going to be a fun event. Just encourage you to try to take it in. Come out to the Welcome Center if you want more information. And be sure and get your packet before you leave. Is there any more questions?
I live at Cambridge Square, and there's a group of us that are really, really interested. And we talked to our social worker, and we might have an Eclipse party.
Oh, good. An Eclipse party. That would be nice. I bet a lot of people will. And maybe the campers who come in, you know, will be grouped and want to be together and have parties too. So that would be fun. I know my daughter and son-in-law from Chicago area and my two grandsons, Tony and Bennett, they're named after Tony Bennett. They're coming for the weekend and they want to take in a lot of things. So I told them that the boys are staying with us. Julie and Dave are staying at one of the hotels. So we're trying to think of how they can get across to the west side without using the main streets, because as local people, you know, we can get around better than the visitors. But what I'm looking forward to also is to meeting a lot of out-of-town people. You know, where are they from? Are you foreigners? What do you do? So I'm anxious to see when they start coming in. So hope you enjoy it. Have a good weekend, and let's look at the sun. Thank you. Thank you. People say, how do you know that we're going to have 50 or 100,000 people? Well, the tourism for the last year has been talking with a town and the Tourism Bureau in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And in 2017, it went straight through there. They expected 100,000, but they had 116,000 people for the weekend. And I said, well, what should we stock up on? She said, buy everything you can get your hands on because we sold out of everything. So that's a smaller town. It's the same size as Richmond, about 35,000. So that is a draw to people who don't want to go to Indianapolis or some of the larger cities. They're looking for a smaller town where it might be a little more quieter. So we can expect people.